Welcome, part 3 now. And I want to get me some XZC, which would cost like 179 handle, and I'm selling at 160. There's a differential of like 12%. The fair price right now is about $1.63. So it's a ripoff to buy this price. So I'd be more apt to do so on another exchange amongst Binance. I can take a look at its. Well, I can't show. Actually, I can do a print screen. That is what I'll do. But let me just scroll down. And bring up Paint. And there we have it here. So I can buy 35, which I would buy less than such, at 1644. But before I do such, I will next look at the Litecoin exchange, just in case that it's a better bargain there. Now to do so, I need to multiply this by the ratio of Litecoin. So therefore, let's go back to the exchange. And I can see Litecoin is 0.008116. Bring a calculator up. And just go dump this here, put the price in. And do a 1x, so it's 123 ratio to 1. So therefore, I could take the current price of what's now 1651. The fair Litecoin price happens to be that of 203,000. So let's take a look at that exchange. And what I see here is that it's at 229. So there's already a decent differential. So I mean, buying that would just not be smart. I've already checked the fee for transferring or withdrawing this XZC coin. That's a $6.86 coin, and that's 0.01. That works out to about 7 cents. So that's a cheap transfer. And what I'm playing for is 2.5 Litecoin. So I'll take that same Litecoin price again. And that would be of 0.008116. And then I would divide that by 2.5, I think, or it works out to, it's like 0.0203 that it's going to work out to. I've already done the math. Now, why am I getting a brain freeze at this time? Let me just pause the tape. And I didn't even need that number. Basically, I take the 123 and I divide it by, or I take 2.5 rather, divided by 123. And that works out to 0.0203 because I'm playing these markets to be worth 2.5 Litecoin. So I'm going to buy that much worth of XZC on Binance. I have 0.05 Bitcoin, so I can afford it. Maybe just to buy one thing only, of course. So that'd be about 12.4. It's going to cost me 0.01, so I'll have 12.4 in my account. So I'll make the buy. And the price is 1644, so I'll have to cancel this order. So 12.3 will go now. And there they are here. I got them. And now I want to send them to Cryptopia. Within Cryptopia, what I can do in the balances section is search for XZC. And then I can push the deposit button There's a deposit address. Copy it. Check out the how it ends. It ends G2. It starts with a small a. So then on the site on Binance, I'm going to put that address in. There's a G2 at the end, the small a. And the fee was 0.02. To find the fee, I go in the withdraw, find the coin. You have to put a number in, then they'll tell you what it is. So 0.02, I said 6 cents, so it's like 12 cents. I'll have 12.29 now as I will lose it. So you push the submit button. In my case, with 2FA, I have to, they'll send me a code for my in a text message. And then not only that, I have to confirm it via email. So I'm going to go ahead and send this now. About 15 minutes have passed and the transfer has shown that it's on its way. So I have to wait for enough confirmations and then I'll be able to trade that XZC. But in the meantime, let's take a look at Komodo. I'm going to buy some of it now. I ended up buying one in part two only because the price was so cheap, but that's all I was able to get. And the price right now on Binance is trading at a hair over the 18 handle. And it's cheaper here. I'm going to be able to buy in the 17 handle. But maybe a price would be available via Litecoin. So let's bring the calculator back up. And what we're going to do, we know the ratio is 123 and about 3808 I'm forced to spend. So we're looking at the 468 handle. And what we see here, no, it's 225. This is against Litecoin. Let me just do this again. 1808. No, okay. 222 handle. So at 225, that's even more expensive. So let's take a look at this market against Bitcoin. And here we got the 1780. So I can buy it for 1787. But I'm only going to be able to buy a bit. So the first thing I'm going to do, I put a buy order in before to get this at the 205. I'm going to remove this buy order now. And then buy what I can at that price under 18 right now and then try to get the rest of it later. So I'll buy it up to the 17,878. I don't want to buy the 1811 mark. Try to get a cheaper price. Maybe somebody will fill some sell orders in lower, so they'll see that it gets filled. The next sell order will be 18,111, and maybe some new 17s will appear. I'll put a buy order in for 17.4 as I wait thereafter. I'm going to have a decent amount because the sum is 1.2, and I want to have a little over 2%, so I'm still going to buy about 0.07 change remainder left. So let's buy it up to 1786, or this number here. And there we have it. So okay, so I'm going to remove that little bit here. Because I'm going to just... So I got 69 Komodo now. I'm going to need a little over 100. So I'll wait. Go 17,425. Maybe I'll get a really good deal on the remainder. Or a decent deal, rather. I want about 150 and 116 of them. So I got about 70. So 30 plus 16 is 46 and change. So let's do 46.5. Put a buy order in at the 17,425 and just wait. I'm going to end up pausing this tape again because I'm still going to be waiting for the XZC. and you're going to get an instant notification because I'm just going to be right back at it. But I'll either be back with the XZC here, or my buy order filled, or I'm able to buy at lower prices because new people put sell orders in below 18. About 60 seconds have passed, and I mean bid orders are 180, microscopically going lower. So there's selling wars going by small amounts. I want much lower than 180 though. But one thing I'm noting when trading is early stages of the bidding war. There's a lot of bots in this thing, and when you notice well, here we go. You put a buy order in, and then somebody right thereafter will just put an automated order like right 17426, just like that, and it'll be instant. Well, in this case, it took a couple minutes almost. So the bidding war early on looked relatively weak or easy, but I have to say that the person putting this order in is somebody who is manually playing the game and is pretty good at it. Now it's only 13, so I'm not too concerned. It's not a big number. I'm going to leave my number as it is. Now I have to wait for somebody to sell 60 of them. But either way, that's how it's going to be. And about 10 minutes have gone by, 15 maybe. I haven't hit my buy order, but these orders are coming in pretty good. 17845, slowly going lower. So given that, what I'm going to do before taking those orders, as I see them struggling with each other, is see if I'll get a little bit of a cheaper price before taking their order. So therefore, they're struggling around the 178. I'm going to really see if they'll take like 177, even it's 177 and a quarter. For 0.0202, we're looking at wanting 113 Komodo, 70, so that's 30 plus 13, 43. And the decimals are about right. So we'll see if anyone takes this up on this offer in the first few moments. If not, I'll pause it. Sometimes I put orders in like this and they'll scoop it really fast. So if this guy with 50 really wants to sell and he's happy with 177, obviously he's not happy with the 173.2 and all these numbers here, then maybe it'll come through. And well, somebody's matched me. They've put 8.3. I put in an order for 43. Now there's 51 in there. So someone put 8.35 and matched my offer to buy. I'll pause it and be back in a couple minutes, because if they're not taking my offer, I'm just going to have to take the 1780 price. Right now, though, the price has dropped to just that. It was 1779 on Binance. In fact, after I last paused, I checked to see if any orders came in, and I did actually have my normal buyback against Bitcoin on Binance against it. I was mentioning earlier in a video that I was going to buy at 18, so I said I'd rather buy at 1770 change, and it sure enough it hit. So let's just now move forward. Well, I just bought 14 of them as announced, so just a bit more to go. And I bought a bunch more. 3 different orders coming in relatively fast. 15 left. That person might still have some. How many do I got left to buy? 7 and a quarter left only. There's 3, so that means I got, it's done. I'm in. So now I got my Komodo. I couldn't send this because the wallets are down, so I just couldn't transfer it from another site. But obviously I was able to get it this way. So I'm going to go to the Litecoin exchange, and I'm going to put Komodo orders in. So therefore, let's start off within buys. I have to decide to myself, how do I want to play this? Do I want to play this very aggressively? Well, first let's just check what the message of this market shows. I'm going to take the volume off because it's easier for me to see these lines in here. So on these days, I can see high 29. I mean, that's 50%. There's a lot of reason to try to get some of those moves and play for like the market to go 30, 40% higher from that 2.5 Litecoin number. So it's worth about like 3.1 Litecoin. When it's worth that, just sell it off. Let's just take a look at the bid asks on here. So as mentioned, 222 was the fair price. So if I'm selling for 50%, that means that would be like 333. So I don't want to go too much below, I got to go at least around 300, I would think. And I see 256 hanging in there at that 309 area. So at 300, the differential is 80 points on 222. Which is, I think I could probably just go in here 309. But before I do that, I'm going to first put my buy orders in. I do buy orders first. The reason for that is because I can see right here how many I own. I own 112. So when I see what I need, I can easily do the math. So therefore, I want a 40% increase is a differential of like a 30-ish or so decrease. So therefore, on 22, I could take like 60 basis points off. There's got to be at least 180, 170. So when I look in here and I'm seeing, I mean, I can just really just pick my number. There's no real wall blocks by any means. There's no margin differential numbers like in here. You go from 50 to 20, so maybe you want to fill the 35 gap or something, or just go above this. We'll go work on that in a few seconds. But if that's the case, this intrigues me to go a little bit lower. Maybe own the 160 number. That would be, again, 60 basis points. I'm going to 150. How about in there? Yeah, let's go 15. So this is what I do. I put in 15. So now what I want is this to be worth 2.5 Litecoin. How many do I need? And I know it's going to be a little over that 163 number. So 166. That's a differential of like 54 more. So let's put that in. I got 7 Litecoin. I got a lot of Litecoin. And I can deposit it anytime I need to. So I'm only going to put the minimum of what I need. If this number gets too high, then I'm going to put it into my Trezor hardware wallet. And if this number gets too low, I'll take Litecoin from that wallet and bring it here to fill in orders. Okay, so that's the first one in. Now a secondary order. And I'm going to want to probably put 3... I can go 2 buy orders on this. In some codes, I'll go around the 10 number or the 08. But I'm going to go a real insanity kind of move. A good buy order and an insane buy order. So I'll go with 2. So it's got to be several basis points below this. So 0.003 or less. So here we got that number there. So let's go 0.025. And when you go so low, just type in what you own and you see how low it is. 112 or 115. It cost me 0.28. That's not much at all. So in case some sort of one of those moves occur, if it can hit this number or lower, then I'm going to have 115 Komodo. The price action is going to be like 20,000, 18, 17 or whatever, or 18, 19, 21. And I'm going to be able to sell it immediately. As every single time a new order comes in, then I'll push the cancel all button and then just put all new orders in. And I'm going to go with 4 sell orders. That's generally the rule I go with, the small minimum size orders. Like XBY, I got about a dozen of these orders in. So therefore, as we were saying before, I want a good price differential. And I see this 309 number. I'm really only semi-satisfied with the price payment that I would get from 300. So therefore, I really do got to go to this 309. Now there's two ways I can do this here. One, I can just click on this, which is the 112, and I can see it would be 346. That's a really large gain, but that's what I want to go for. So the differential on 2.5 is 0.96. And if you deal with even numbers, it makes it easier. So there's just a lot of codes. I'm like, you know what? I'll just make it 0.1 Bitcoin for some decent sized codes. Or with XBY, it's an even 10 Litecoin. I make it worth. So it's worth 4 times higher on the XBY. I do it the exact same way. So I could do, and you know what? Sometimes you can sell a little bit more. So therefore, if I type in, I can go ahead and just type in 0.96. And I realize it's 31. So I could sell a little of that. I could sell 33, 34, 35 because technically it'd probably be a little bit better long term. But I'm just going to keep it around this number. Another way I can do it too is I can just type in 2.5 here, and then I can see 81, and I can just subtract the two numbers. But in this example, I'm going to go 0965 or so, so 31 and change. I'll sell 31.47. I like the even numbers. So once this sell order comes in, I'll be back to even numbers again. So there we go. Now I want a really, really, really good gain on the next one. This one has to be like 60-ish plus 60, 70, 80% gain. Even 100, 125 is fine as well too. So I'm looking at least around the 70 number from 30. So let's just take a look at what I can find in here. So as far as any wall blocks in here, not really. There's 42 to 32. So the only real significant one, and it's like 90 of them being sold at the 90 handle. So given that we're at 30, I'm looking to go around 60-ish. Again, there's nothing much there. So there's 65. So let's just do 64. Got one of those big moves. If I click on this, I can see it's worth like... I basically can sell half because it's going to be worth a little bit more than double. So let's do that. Let's sell half at this point. I'd get 2.618 Litecoin. One of the things, and it hasn't happened much recently, it really, really hasn't, but it just seems I always see Fibonacci numbers come up in the weirdest of places when I do my trading. Up to May or April of this year, but all of last year and the first few months of this year with different balances and just weird numbers like this. 61.8%. Now this would have been freaky. I mean, the next decimal was 7 and the next Fibonacci decimals are 0.3. But I find that relatively interesting. So anyway, 2 more sell orders to go. Another decent one. This one is going to be probably for another like 2 to 3x move. And that would be, of course, taking me to like 0.12, 0.15 area. And I see the wall right here at the 100 to the 45. And that's at 16. So I think I'm just going to match this 16 number myself. Maybe just... and then see that it would be 6. So I can sell well more than half. Maybe sell 25, and then 1 SIC order. And what you can do, sometimes you just don't even need to look, but I'm going to just put a big number in. But I see that this thing really doesn't have any real significant ones other than say at the 3.5. And well, if that's the case, let's just go 3 then. And then I get 44 45 Litecoin. I mean, I don't expect it to happen, but you never know. And if that situation does happen, you could have had those sell orders and you were thinking about doing it. You're like, man, I wish I would have. I mean, what's the difference if I have them in here? Yeah, I understand some people like to have their coins and hardware wallets to come in and trade, but the only way you're going to get those big moves most of the time is because you have orders in, or because, yeah, just that simple fact alone. And even when you are looking to trade because markets are moving, oftentimes what's going to happen is you're going to send the coins and the markets are just going to move haywire, which meaning maybe the price goes up like say theta. You go see it going way higher. The next thing you know, oh my goodness, it goes way back down, and you couldn't sell it that over 3,000 number or 2,500 number. But anyway, that's that example. And theta was a coin I've talked about before that basically went from 1,200 to like 36, and now it's at like 16, 1,800 or something. All right, then. So I'm going to quickly look at the XZC status. And at this stage, I have 6 of 20 confirmations. So at some point soon, I'm going to again have to pause the tape. But what I'll do before, in the meantime, is show the dash against Litecoin. Now, this one, I can't trade for those higher percentage moves. I mean, I could. But this trade's a little more normal, and these little spike moves we can see here. If we look at the high 291, the low 259, that works out to a 10% move. So I pretty much got no choice but to play it relatively normal. So in here I got 2 buy orders in. I got one at 240, which would bring it down from 2.5 Litecoin to 2.1 because I'm buying for 0.4. And I got an insane, not too insane, but insane order at 0.33 to buy one of them. But you know what? It's nothing wrong if you think that it could just go like way down. Price action is 272. What happens if someone does like a 50x move? Well, a 100x move would be 0.027. So 0.05? 5? I mean, how much could I get one dash for? Oh, only 0.05 Litecoin? Well, let's buy 2 there. 3, sure. So, if something insane like this happens, then I got it. And if I ever need to get Litecoin and I could just scrape away, I could just kill this order at any time. I can deposit Litecoin, and it's just it's a very, for me, myself anyway, it's an extremely small amount to be playing with. But, that's that. Let's see the sell orders. 335 looking to sell 0.2 for 0.4. So that's a differential of the market going from 250 to 290. So 40 on 25 means that's like an 18% move. But that's how I'm going to play it, see how many transactions I can get. But if any one big move happens at one time, I'm ready. I got 444. I got 9, basically 10, and I got 55 and a half. If they go, I'll get 17 Litecoin here, plus this is 20. I'll get like 21, 22 Litecoin if someone buys it up right now. And I'm only playing this for 2.5 worth. So therefore, I would gain like 19 Litecoin, spend 2.5 Litecoin worth on Dash at whatever the price is then, and replay new orders. Doji against Litecoin sharing the same rule again, in that, and let's just take a look at this chart maybe for 6 months. We can see here that it has normal moves and good moves. Doji is a fun chart because of how its up and moves work. So therefore, I'm doing the similar sort of thing here. Price action 65 and a quarter, 65.77. Only differential like 0.8%. Not bad compared to a lot of these other ones. But I'm not selling until this thing goes to, and there's a lot of sell orders that precede me. Where's my next sell order? Oh, 79.95. Where am I buying next? Oh, we look down at 57.05. So how do the orders look overall? Well, we got a buy at 57 and a buy at 1,000. So I got 2 buy orders in. And half a Litecoin. Sell. I mean, this is a small sale at the 37. I could go a little bit higher, but 2.5 to 2.8, that's like 12%. And then move at 98 in case it has a nicer move, 17, and then again at 97. Next up is ETN, and another one that has normal looking movements, but we can see in here some of those, and even back in here it's got some of those little spiky moves. See, now I like the volume. Look at this day here, the buy. This day here on the buy. But if we scroll back and we can see just how you can profit from these kinds of moves. And it moves like a normal market would. So how fun it is to sell up here, buy back down, sell up here, buy back down here, sell on this way, move to over the 40 handle, then buy all the way down here, sell up here, buy down here, a little bit of selling here, now you're buying. That's basically how it works. So as far as the orders, it's pretty much going to be done the same way here as well. And that is that. I'm going to have to change some of them because these are the big staple ones. So I'm not playing them for the large volatility, but I'm going to keep putting these smaller orders in. I got a buy order at 23,000, again at 5,000, and I should be doing more of orders like, well, how about 461? As what would, how many do I own? So I have to count this. I own, so 58 plus 35. I own about 9,000 or so. So how many would 10,000 get me at this price? Oh, 0.04? Heck, why not go 1,000 then? Or 700 even. 750. Oh, that would cost me 0.07. Well, let's try to buy 20,000 then at that price. And if it hits, then I'll be really happy. Now this is when I'm probably going to have to change because I'm going to have to play this probably at higher volatility because this would be one of the codes, as you can see, that has these magnificent moves. I have an affiliation with this coin overall. Well, not affiliation, but one, it's used for like fantasy sports and poker, which is something that I like and I know people use. And I've traded this so many times before very successfully that I just feel that I need to trade this particular coin. But this is not going to be traded like the Dash and the ETNs and the Dojis and such. And when I look at this, if I see that my first sell order is only for 0.48. So I'm just going to remove everything and redo my sell orders and buy orders. Because as I've been thinking for the last 24 hours, I really got to play some of these codes. Now, as it stands at 19,000, it's worth about, again, 2.5. So let's put the buys in. Fair price is like 19. So therefore, I'm going to be looking for, say, 13. And when I say fair price, whatever 2.5 Litecoin is worth. So if I go like 13, that would be like 33% off. So I want to make sure that number is at least lower than that. But look at this bid order here. 17,551, 17,550. Then we got 16,500-ish. Then we got 5,500. So I want to now pick my number below that I feel is applicable. Like 120 seems about right to me. And that's, again, a very good differential from where we stand. It's going to be a little costly, but not too costly. 2.5 Litecoin. I'm going to need like 20,000 of these things. I remember owning like 8,000 of them and worth a lot at one point. That's how much this coin has went down. It's went down a lot. Oh, baby. I remember like 8,000, 6,000 I had, and it was like, oh my goodness. It was worth like 4 figures, I think. Or 6 or 3 figures. High 3 figures or 4 figures. But anyway, that would mean I would be at 12.7. I'm at 13.9. So I would need about 7,900. So that's going to cost me about 0.94. I got 7, so that's an easy purchase. And then I'm going to probably want to take advantage of this number here again as well. And maybe play. And really, 198, I don't care about the 198 too much. It's just a small amount. Let's do. But you know what? 50% off, that's fine. That's 5,000, 4,000. Let's go 4,000. Let's go 4. And after my last video, I gotta remember to put the 0 in here because I accidentally made a buy that I didn't want to. I wanted to put an order for a cheaper price, and I bought a minuscule amount of a coin. So 2.5. Now that's worth 62,000. I got 13, but obviously if that order comes in, I'm also gonna fill this close to 8,000 as well. So again, having about almost 21,000 means it'd be about 40. But that's going to be expensive, isn't it? 40,000? Yeah, I don't want to pay 1.6 Litecoin. But you're expecting like one of those crash kind of moves. But you realize if you're spending like 0.4, you can get like 10,000 of them. And that's close to what you own as it is. So I'm going to put an order in for that many. And then work from that point on. And I can even put another one in. Why not? Because as I see, this goes to 2,000, 1,350, 500. So let's just maybe, in case they want to sell it completely down, that's on the bottom number. And I could take the 1 if I wanted to. But let's work it to, say, 400. And what would be 0.15 get me? Like 30,000? And there we have the buy. So now let's go for the sell. So I want to sell for pretty much around close to 30, 28 even. And what I can see here is that the big number comes in. There's a number at 30, there's a number at 29.1. So therefore, I'm just going to take that 30 number even. If I do such, I would see that I can get 1.4. That's still really high. So let's just see what 28 would do. That would be 3.65. So that's like 1.15. So I'd be selling about 4,100. So we'll just round it up to 4,120 and put the sell order in. Next up, let's sell this for at least around 60. And when I'm looking at this number, maybe take the 75 number. And what I would get here, if selling all this, would be worth 6.7. So the differential is like 4.2. I mean, I could even just go like 59. Well, I mean, if it hits, it's just so profitable. I want to sell as many as I can there. So I mean, I can sell pretty much 5,000. So why don't we just go 54.70 for Litecoin if that comes in. And then again, we want to go like 200, 300,000 on top of that. Amazing move. Everyone, there's a lot of us in here. Well, there's a 300 with 62. So let's do 29. And that would get me, that's worth 10. So if I sell like 2/3 of it, I could sell like, that'd be like 2,300 maybe. 2,500 even. And then sell the last 1,000 at an insane price. So at 25, I want to go close to 0.01. So looking at some of these numbers in here, well, the big one is going from the 81 to the 18. And now, of course, I've already taken care of that. I guess I already looked at that. Is there any other bigger numbers down here? Well, the 131, I guess. That's at the 0.039, so I guess we'll just control the 35 spot. And just for 1,000, that's still 34 Litecoin. I'm happy with that. So NLC2 orders are in. Next up is Redcoin. And this one trades on Bittrex. And you can just see wild movements on here. This is a very good coin if you're looking for these moves. You can see, let's just take the volume off on this so I can see these wicks better. That's why I don't like the volume on it. So clear day here, 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 and even just recently. So what's the differential of the price doing? Going from 4,500 to 5,000, going from 4,500 to 5,500. Well then, I guess, well this is the 2-day chart, so that's all short term. Let's look at this on the 6 month, and I should have remembered that happened. But you see, that's why you want the inside orders. So let's get the volume back on. As you can see, it trades for like, well, I mean, it got up there, so anyone who had orders up in that area obviously got hit. So let's just take a look at that, not counting that date or sense that point, so you can see the moves better. It practically trades in a somewhat normal basis. So this is something I'd want to trade. I don't want to look for 60-40% gains on my next sale. It's just, I'm not going to get many trades at all. So the bid orders, I got 410 and 3,800. Selling at 58.20, 74.80, 13.9, and then this big one here, just in case. Next up is Smart Cash. Another one like NLC2, one that I've just had so much profit with before in the past that I just want to keep on playing this coin. Since this point in here, well, this was a day right here. The price action had a high of 003 when the actual price was like 00. Well, before it was 0004. So it went up like 7 times. So a lot of sell orders there can work. And this is what I want to play relatively aggressive again because of the nature of this type of coin. It's just not as known. It's not as traded as a higher volume as the other coins like the Dashes and the DGBs. I've only got 1 buy order in this one. I should have 2 to 3. So let's cancel all of these orders. And I own 4,800 of these coins. At current market price, 51, or at least at the 60, it's worth 2.92. And at the 51, it's worth 2.45. The fair price is realistically probably close to 55, 56. So where do I want to buy? Well, let's just take a look here. Do I see any decent wall blocks? Not really anywhere. So now let's just look at the pure numbers. So at 50, we're looking like even 52, 53. I don't want to buy until like 30. I mean, I can't go over 30. Let's just put it that way. So therefore, let's take that 30 number. 2.5 would make me need 8,300 and 16. That would be needing 33. You know, I want to go a little higher than that. And that, I mean, that's big volatility. Well, I got, how about 40? Is that, because there's a decent size order, not too much. I mean, 6,000 here. Or 39.5? So 6,300, so that would mean I need like 1,500 or so. Costing 0.6. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I really can't. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So now for this point here, let's do something. If we go 40, I want to do much, but I don't want to do half off, but I want a decent move. So like 26 maybe. Where would 26 come in handy at? Well, again, I just didn't see much for wall blocks before. So let's just take the 26 number as it is. And we would want, say, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go for my... I mean, 5,000 would cost how much? 0.27. I want to go cheaper than that then. This is the insane buy order. 3,500. Even 2,500. 2,000. 2010. Saying all these numbers, just thinking about the way to go. 2.5 would be, that's not what I wanted to check. 5,000 is worth, that's what I wanted to see. So let's go 13,000, do a quarter. And now go for some selling. Where do we see any sell walls? Oh, right here. This is the big one here. 42 compared to 5. And that's at the 32,000 handle. So obviously that's 2 sells away from now. I want at least around 50%. So it's got to be close to 10,000. Like, it's got to be 9,000-ish or less. So let's do 9. Let's match up with the 9, and we would see that that's big. Is that right? Current price is 30. You gotta be, what the heck, just... Okay, no. So current price is right, so 60. If I'm selling at like 90, it should be like worth like 3.7. Okay, let's do... You know what? Let's go for the big score. Let's do 80 though. So it's 3.84. That's the differential of 1.34. So I'd be selling like 1,600. Like, one thing I could do is just eliminate the decimals this way. And just round it. Okay, so now we're looking at 200, and I know that big wall is going to be the big number. So let's take the 3. This is just going to be extreme how much this would be worth. 9 point that, so... I mean, 6 Litecoin would leave me with 337 still. I could just sell 2 grand, leave myself with like 1,100. And then see where the insane orders would work. So we got, yeah, so there's sell order number 1, sell order number 2. So now I want definitely over 0.05. which is this area here. And there's the big wall block right there, 350 to 71. And that's at the 499-ish handle, so let's just own the 40 number. And selling just 1100 will, well, net me 43 Litecoin. Next up is Token Pay, T-Pay. And within such, looking at this chart on the 6-month time frame, again, that's why you had some of these days early on. This particular day here, over the last 3 months, just looking at this volatility, the differential is 33%. It's resisting this 40 over and over and over again. The differential, it's got an okay amount of overall volume and movement when it's all said and done. I was doing well trading this against Bitcoin, so I'm going to just try it here. I think I got to put another buy order in because I only see one. And I'm going to trade this given the fact that it moves normal like this to the normal percentage moves that I would normally look at. But again, I'm short one buy order. So if you ever just go quick, well, it's just 0.02. So we go like 001. Yeah, we'll just do 001. A little over that. And how many do I own of these coins? I own about 50, 60 and change, 70 and change. How much would 100 cost me? Obviously, it's going to be around. It's going to be 0.1. Yeah. So I'll go for 2.25 here. And if that comes through, it'll be like a nice profit. I get about 5 Litecoins on it right now. On what's the 0.2? And the final one is true US dollar. As this one is pretty much just against the fiat currency. We look at its movements. Well, we have this day in here where it spiked up pretty good. And it's a hedge against the overall, just its price movement, it being Litecoin, against the US dollar. I'm doing such against Bitcoin, so why not do it here? As far as my orders are concerned, I got 2 buy orders in, one at 0.028, the other at 0.021. And then I'm selling at 0.034, 0.047, 0.09, and then 0.55. I'm playing this one for for 4 Litecoin, so a little bit of higher stakes on this, but it's I mean, everything but this and XBY is 2.5 Litecoin. This is 4 and XBY is 10. Moving on next to XZC. I mean, you had this move in here, but overall, this thing has its movements. My coins aren't in yet, but I'll start off by putting my buy orders in. And therefore, what do we see? The numbers at 1997. And then it goes right to 160. So why don't I just see what 161 would do? It's actually, I can do that in my head. That's a differential of like 40 basis points. The price action was like well over 200. So that's not quite. I'm going to want to play this for decent sized gains again. The 14 number would represent like 30%. So I'm a little more. And this is keen on it. I never did grow up in the 50s or 60s or whenever that word was used. But let's do the 14 handle. And I would need 2.5 Litecoin. And I forget how many that I bought. I can quickly check. And it's 12.29. So that would be differential. That's 5.53. So I'd be looking to make this buy in here. Buying at 10 would be like 30-ish% off. I think I want to go below 10, but not much below 10. And we got 88 here, but it's not for much. Oh, I could go decently below it. 0.06 maybe, which is better than half off on the 14. So let's do that. And how many do I want to buy? I don't know if I want to buy it to 2.5. I don't want to spend more than... I can put a Litecoin 0.8 on it. Yeah. Because if it comes through, the more I buy, the more profitable mathematically it is. So I would need 41 and like 41.6. I got 553, so that's like 37, 38 almost that I would own coming in. Or 28 I would own. Yeah, 28, so 13. How much would that cost? Yeah, let's do that number. And then the insane order. There's real no walls in here, so I'm just going to pick a number. I definitely looking for probably better than 10x below, maybe 04. So that would be about a 13x move. And how much? 30 would cost me 0.12. So let's just go 45 instead. And I'm going to pause it until the coins come in. And about 25 to 30 minutes has passed. There's 12 of 20 confirmations, so it's going to take a while. I'll probably actually be going to bed or in bed and asleep when it confirms. So I'm going to be putting the orders in the morning. But how it's going to work is like all the other ones. I'm going to be looking to probably sell a minimum on the 30 number, maybe even go 31, 32 if possible. There's the wall block is on the 4 number, so that's 25. That's not there. So I'd probably take the 30 or 31, 32 number. And then you sell again near the 50. You sell again somewhere maybe around 2-ish. And then a big order wherever you want, 30, 40, 50. And I didn't realize that this was 57 minutes long. I was very happy with my first video, unhappy with my second, and relatively happy with this one. And if I was doing this in any more professional kind of way, where I was to really do a seminar, this would be like a practice session. Okay, how can I make this shorter, better, all that type of stuff. Because this really was way too long. And I know it's unfortunately going to work out that this video could help so many people, but they're not going to have the time to be able to watch what is like well over 2 hours within this 3-part series. But unfortunately, what else can I do at this stage? I'm not going to redo this video, and I'm not going to not upload it. And even if this just helps out one person, then that's magnificent. And even if it doesn't, well, I mean, what else was I going to do? I guess I could have done some computer programming. But I have fun doing this. And because I feel myself I'm not committed for really anything in this sense. Because of the fact that I realize that I'm not doing this for the ad revenue when it's like, again, a penny or a dollar for every, like, when it's long videos, 150-ish people. And when I'm getting like, well, this is probably like 20 views, I'm going to guess. I really think it's going to be low. I don't even know if it's going to be higher than that. But again, 20 views is enough in that sense. I do it because I enjoy doing this and I enjoy helping people out. So therefore, if this is up, you might be watching this many months from when I do this, sometime in 2019 or 2020. And I'm sure even then these strategies could easily still play itself through. So thank you for tuning into this 1 hour long video. I can't even believe I did this. But again, there's nothing else I can do at this stage. Have yourself a great night. Bye bye.